Tanimu from Nasarawa State. I want to raise an issue on
Order, please.
proponents of the geopolitical zones to be used as a tier of government. I think we have discussed extensively here Adapson Tanimu from Nasarawa State. We raised the issue of running government, which has involved a lot of cost. We have talked extensively on the fact that we need to streamline government. And an instance whereby people will say the question of bringing in geopolitical zones as a tier of government, I think is an indirect way of defeating the argument. Because if you bring it as a tier of government, you are again going to create some paraphernalia of office. And now instead of having the federal, the states, and the local government, you now have the federal, the geopolitical zones, the state, and the local government. Now people raise the issues that we had spent so much on running government. Now if you now include another tier of government, then even the 92% we are talking about, we may not have it again. Therefore, the truth of the matter is that states should constitute the federating units and not geopolitical zones. Secondly, I want to talk about the issue of rotation also. I quite subscribe to the idea of rotation. Rotation will provide for fairness, it will provide for participatory democracy, and it will remove all the suspicion. But I subscribe to the view of having a horizontal and vertical rotation. What I mean by this is that within the states, within the geopolitical zones, the zones should rotate among themselves, but that it should alternate between the north and the south. Now, the fear, I want to defend that position. The reason is because the Committee on Executive has raised the issue that it should rotate among the zones. If you allow it to rotate among the zones, it can remain in the southern zones, southwest, southeast, south-south, it will still amount to rotation. The same thing if it comes to the north, it can rotate among all those zones in the north. And therefore, if you create a horizontal aspect, there is successive rotation between the areas. And I think that will help a lot. I also subscribe to the view that geopolitical zones should be recognized. Geopolitical zones should be recognized in the sense that people feel that the north and south are issues that we have to forget about it. The truth of the matter is that these are issues of historical antecedents. We can never put them aside. And therefore, if they need to create zones, it's part of what we'll bring here as a process to reform the situation. I don't think there's anything bad in bringing it. Then on the Committee on Economy, the issue was raised. They did very well, actually. But I think we need to be more forceful on our recommendations. A situation whereby we import water in the name of fruit juice, when we have oranges, mangoes, and everything being wasted, I think we should place a ban on such importation. Instances whereby we have solid minerals, whereby these raw materials are exported from here, taken outside, processed again, and we import them to use them in the manufacturing industry. Where we have such raw materials that are here in the rudimentary aspect, we should place a ban on the importation of such issues that we need to use them here because we should develop our own. Take example of, let's say, bitumen, or the issue of what my colleague has raised from Nasarawa State, that of barite. Barite is used as drilling mud. Why do we need to import barite again for drilling? Since we have this barite in large quantity in Azara. If we prevent the importation of barite from outside, you discover that that area of solid mineral, which is barite production, in Azara will be fully developed. And as such, I would recommend that the committee should go further to place a ban on all issues like gypsum, bitumen, barite that we have them locally. Let us use them and don't import any component that has to do with such things. And also in the area of oil exploration, I think it is necessary that we stop this issue of overdependence from oil from the south-south. We should also look inward. Other areas, if places like Chad, we have oil being drilled there. Talk about issues of the Lake Chad Trough, the Benue Trough, and other areas. I think federal government should at least initiate a deliberate policy so that this issue of oil exploration, other areas of the country should also partake in it and let it be diversified. Perhaps this issue of resource control and derivation may be put to rest. Furthermore, I have heard about high-tech drilling technique, whereby this drilling is done through high technology. If that is the situation, there is a need for us to involve it and also help in this drilling of oil. Then I want to talk about the electoral process and political parties. My colleagues have talked about the issue of the recommendation on a single term. It is a good innovation, but the truth of the matter is that if you have a very wicked leader, if you have a heartless leader, then the truth of the matter is that you'll be praying that that man should leave even before the end of the 5 years. The issue of a second term, although there is an element of incumbency, everybody has hope in his mind. And the issue of hope is that it keeps the system alive. The truth of the matter is that somebody who is there for the first time will try to do the best he can so as to enable him to win the confidence of the others, as for him to be re-elected. But the truth of the matter is that if you restrict it to the issue of only first term, that means you are only going on a testing adventure. It then reduces Nigeria to a situation as if we are in a political laboratory. We move forward and backward. I think that should be looked into inward. Then on the recommendation on the issue of decamping by the same committee, that if you decamp from your party, then you will lose your position. I think that does not have any meaning. Why do you now place emphasis on decamping to the detriment of people's mandate? Especially in a presidential system. If it were a parliamentary system, that can be obtainable. More so that we have allowed for independent candidature. I think that provision is very, very defective. Also, the ban that was placed, especially on head of states, I think that should be military head of states, military governors, and they say caretaker committees or administrator. Why do you blame them? If you have any reason for placing a ban, give a strong reason, a justification. If you say a former military head of state should not contest election for the office of the president because he participated in a coup, that one is understandable. But for you to make a blanket ban that this category of people, they are being eliminated, I think it is undemocratic. There must be a justification. Then the recommendation on civil societies, on issue of gender. I saw a situation whereby women try to bring their own situation up, that a woman that is married should be entitled to dual constituency. You consider election in a place of your husband and where you were born. I think that is not correct. The issue is that women should value the sanctity of marriage. If you leave your parents' house, you are deemed you are already part and parcel of your husband's house. Except if on the other side, you will have made the same provision for men, that if a man marries, is entitled to contest election in his own place or in the toilet. Then, yes. Then on the local government.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes. Next person, please. What's happening? Okay, fine. Let some other person come now.